Okay, we're gonna start the haircut service. You have 42 minutes for this service, and you will be told when you have 21 minutes remaining. These things must be performed in order. You must sanitize and clean your hands, prepare your mannequin for service, perform a scalp analysis. The rest of the steps, 4 through 9, do not need to be performed in order. So you need to use a razor with a guard, follow the guideline, use shears. The haircut has to be blended, remove 1 inch of hair throughout the entire head, remove all hair off workstation, and sweep the floor. All of those things have to be done during the service time, which is 42 minutes. Okay. So you will start with sanitizing your hands, as always. And then you're going to disinfect. Try to sanitize first. Disinfect. Re-sanitize our hands. And then get everything out for the haircut. Make sure you close all of your bags and then into the trash. I like to put things in order and get out my tools. Make sure when you put the neck strip on with your drape that the neck strip is visible. And also make sure you have a T-pin. So your T-pin would go in because you do not want your drape to fall off during the service. Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna do was sanitize and disinfect. Prepare your mannequin, which is putting the drape on with the T-pin, and then the next thing you're going to do is a scalp and hair analysis. So they want to see you look through the hair, and we're looking for abrasions and lice, and I'm just going through with vertical sections, looking at the scalp, and then they want to see the hair analysis. So for the hair analysis, you're going to take hair at the front hairline, and you're gonna go from the top to the bottom. Then you're gonna take it at the temples. And you're just feeling for texture, porosity, damage, and then the last one will be at the nape. Finally, now you can wet the hair, section it into your 4 quadrants. Again, the hair has to be completely wet. This will take time, and then you'll complete your haircut, and there is no style. The haircut is complete when you've done every section. There's no style, there's no blow dry. You just leave the hair wet. You can take any mannequin to do your haircut, as long as you can remove 1 inch of hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and section her into 4 quadrants. And you don't wanna spend like too much time on any one part. So be pretty quick. And remember, you can move your chair. They want to see you manipulate your hydraulic chair. They are looking for body position, hand position. Okay, so once I have my front 2 quadrants sectioned off, I'm actually just going to drop the back. And the very first thing I'm going to do is cut my perimeter. I want to make sure that she's looking down. So facing down as much as she can be. Do I need to get in a different position?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm starting with about 1 inch of hair, and I have to remove 1 inch of hair. So I absolutely need to make sure it's 1 inch of hair. The back of my hand should be touching her drape because I'm at 0 degrees, and I'm only cutting within my first knuckle. And then I'm staying in front of the section. Okay, so then you're going to tilt her head to the side and drop your neck section. Make sure the hair is wet. And then you're going to comb everything to the side. Find your guide. Remove your hair. You can cut more than 1 inch if you want to, but it needs to be at least 1 inch. I'm going to go to the other side. Tilting her head away from me. And it looks like somebody has already really cut this mannequin, so I'm just blending it. I'm gonna frame the face with my razor. So I'm gonna have her tilt her head up. I'm gonna start with about 1 inch subsection in the center of her head. And remember, I'm removing 1 inch of hair, so I at least need to remove 1 inch. And then I'm gonna blend in her framing with her link. And again, it should be 1 inch. And I'm just gonna double check and make sure that everything's nice and even. If there's anything you need to adjust, you can adjust it at this time. And then finally, I'm ready to do my interior guide. So I'm gonna section out my mohawk. You can use a lot of clips for this, or very few clips for this. It's really up to you, but they're looking for neatness. So if you can't be neat without clips, I suggest using clips. And remember that her mohawk needs to go into the crown and the curve of her head so that you have a guide everywhere. So I'm going to section it, and I'm going to section out where I'm going to start. Clip off her hair. I'm going to start to the side, removing at least 1 inch of hair, staying in between my first 2 knuckles. And then I'm just going to create a traveling guide. Okay, So I'm gonna come out and then straight up because we're doing a 180-degree haircut. The parietal, everything below the parietal ridge should naturally fall. And I'm gonna stay between those first two knuckles. You can choose to keep some of the previous guide. You can also choose to clip it off if that helps you. If you don't need that, you don't have to do that. This should not be a slow haircut. You should be able to get it done pretty quick. If it doesn't fall, the hair below the parietal ridge, you're gonna make it fall yourself. I'm not gonna use a clip, but if you need to, you can. And I'm just continuing around the head in vertical sections, combing out and then up. Okay, once we get to the back of the head, your sections are gonna look more like a pie shape, and that's fine. Just make sure you comb everything out of the way. And if you get lost in the haircut, just go back through your steps. Identify your guide. Make sure the hair below the parietal ridge falls. Make sure you're holding everything straight up in the air and it's tight. Don't lose your tension. And just move quickly. And I'm staying in front of my section at all times. Okay, I'm on my final section. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is cross-check the haircut. So cross-checking is checking the hair the opposite way in which you cut it. So I'm going to check it going this way. I did it vertically, so I'm going to do it horizontally. Checking that my lengths are the same. If I see anything that's like slightly off, like right there, I'm just going to fix it really quickly. So for this back section, I can check it, like I said, horizontally, since we were doing pie sections. Good. Oops. And then I'm also going to go through and check for my angle. So when I hold it out to the side instead of straight up, I should see this nice little angle. And I check this in pretty big sections. Okay. When I'm completely done, I'm gonna give her the part that I want her to have, whatever I was cutting her haircut to. I chose the middle. There's no blow drying and styling during this service. So I'm just gonna make sure that she looks nice and even. Double check everything. And then remember, the cleanup is part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and undrape my mannequin, making sure that my hair gets on the floor. And everything is going into the trash can. I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize. And really, like, if I have hair left on my chair, just with a dry paper towel, you can clean it off. I'm gonna sanitize and disinfect my chair. And then everything goes into the trash. And then you're gonna sweep. There will be brooms out in the room. You're gonna sweep your whole area, put it all away, or throw it all in the trash can, and then you can come sanitize and disinfect.